Hey guys, what's up? Got another video. Right now I'm going to be taking a look at my Will Moon Mark 6. I've had this for probably a little bit over a month now and I absolutely love it. It's an awesome knife. Will Moon does some incredible work. He's definitely a very talented knife maker. Just his knives are, just technical masterpieces. They're, so well built and beautifully put together. And I'm absolutely digging this blade. So as I said, this is a Mark 6 model. This one's a little bit special because this one he did, you can see there glowing underneath the natural G10 or G11 scale, he did some moon glow inlays on the reverse side of this scale. So you can see the pattern in there. He calls this the crop circle pattern. So it's just a nice little additional feature to this blade. To just make it all the more cooler. And in addition to the moon glow he put under the scale, he's got two little dots of moon glow inlaid on the inside of the back spacer, and he's got a dot of moon glow inside of this little titanium pocket clip hole. I'll show you what that looks like charged up. You can see that there, and you can see it better from the inside, the two dots in the back spacer. But, overall this is an awesome knife. I love the shape of it. It's got a, what I really like is the kind of the Quaken style, or the just that compact, neat finished blade. When it's closed, everything's all flush. Like I said, it's kind of like a Quaken style in my mind as far as how it closes. Your blade is essentially flush with the rest of the knife when it's seated in the closed position. It's just a very neat package, in this position. It's a flipper, obviously. Nice action. It's got a blade that's a little bit over 4 inches. I don't remember exactly the specs on this. I believe the steel is CPM 154 or 154 CM. I can never get those two straight. But I believe it's one of the two. And the finish on this blade, if you can see, it's what he calls his gloss stonewash. It's really neat. It's definitely a stonewash. You can see the all the stonewash in there, but it's got a kind of a shiny gloss finish to it, like he polishes it up afterwards. And he has a mirror finished edge on this one. Really nice edge. The blade has got a really nice shape to it. I like the swedge on the back here. Makes a nice profile on the spine. And the blade is almost 5 millimeters. I think it's a drop under 5 millimeters. Might be 4.5. But it's he said it's thicker than what he typically does for his Mark 6s. So it's definitely a stout, thick piece of blade stock. It's definitely a robust knife. It's got this these titanium handles with the, I don't know what you want to call them. I guess you can call them inlays. They're sort of half inlay scales, but it's essentially a frame lock or a bolster lock, and it's just wonderfully made. You can see how he tapers the titanium. You know, it starts thick up here, and then once it gets down to the end of the knife, he kind of tapers it off. There's a really nice look to it. You can see the lockup he does really early. Nice solid lockup. It's extremely easy to disengage with the amount of material he cut out there. You know, I love a knife maker that really puts time into thinking about how the user is going to be engaging that lock. You know, there's so many knives out there, you know, high quality, good, expensive knives, that they seem to just overlook that aspect. But Well Moon definitely makes it easy to disengage the lock bar. I really like that. You can see how tight the tolerances are with everything inside, and the blade is perfectly seated. As I said, it's got that G10 backspacer that he does on pretty much all of his Mark 6s. It's really interesting, especially how he incorporates the lanyard hole. He kind of just mills a little pillar out in the G10, and essentially what you do is you just wrap the cord around through there, and that's your lanyard hole. Pretty nice integration with the backspacer. Also on this one, he did a titanium pocket clip, obviously. He typically doesn't do the titanium pocket clips, I believe. Generally, these come with G10 pocket clips. But this one, because he was just making it to his own specs and not to a specific order, he threw a titanium clip on there, which is nice because he gets to do the little inlay in there with the moon glow, which is pretty cool. Overall, I mean, like I said, just excellent fit and finish. You know, there's nothing wrong with the blade. Everything about it is just about perfect. Don't have any complaints. Really nice construction, really nice design, and it's a nice size too. It's a big blade. You know, it's got a four, a little bit over 4-inch blade, so you know it's gonna be bigger than, you know, your ZT560. Well, it's kind of hard to show just because of the angle here, but it's definitely, I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch longer overall length than the ZT560. I'll show you the blade thickness here, so you can kind of compare the blades, so you can see just how much thicker the Mark 6 is here. Again, like I said, this isn't the normal thickness that he generally deals with, but I guess just because this is, you know, something that he had laying around or just wanted to experiment with on this particular blade, he made the stock a little bit thicker. It's got really nice jimping, you know, well cut. Gives you a lot of traction, and it's also kind of like a ramp, so that just gives you all the more traction when you're holding the blade. You know, it is basically a flat design on the handle, other than the little choil here. So it's not necessarily the most comfortable handle design, but I mean, your hand's not going to go anywhere. It's definitely doable. You can see here on the blade, he engraved his name there. It's pretty cool. See if I can give you a closer look at that. There you can see it. The blade rides on, I believe it's dual ball bearing washers. I believe he has 2 in there, but I know that it rides on ball bearings, so it's an extremely smooth action. You know, I guess the one thing, if I needed to point something out that I didn't necessarily like, is that his detent is so strong. And what's kind of funny is that in his video he did of this knife, he was talking about how the detent in this knife is about 3 or 4 pounds, and he said that's typically about half of what he generally does. And this detent is by far 2 times stiffer than any knife I've ever handled. So you definitely have to put some force behind that flipper to get it to engage. Sometimes I just find it easier to use my thumb and well, it's a weird angle, just do it that way. But I mean, it only ever bother you if you're just sitting there constantly playing with it. Show you some comparisons here when it's closed. Here's my J. Kobach Warhorse, similar size, you know, in the closed position, and also when both of these knives are open, they're pretty much identical. The Mark 6 is just a drop longer overall. Kind of see my 560 there. So anyways, overall, I'm definitely happy with this knife. And if you know, have ever seen his videos, you know, he's on YouTube obviously. If you ever seen any of his knives in any videos, and you're at all intrigued, I would definitely recommend that you check him out and try to snatch one if you can, because they're definitely really nice and pretty good quality, you know, or value, I should say, for what you're getting. I paid a little bit more for this one, just because it was more unique and it wasn't something that he just, you know, ordinarily makes. It's got the thicker blade stock. He did the extra work with the moon glow in the handles and in the back spacer and whatnot. So this one was a little bit more than what he typically charges, but still, I like it. I'm happy with it, and I definitely recommend him for being a knife maker that you put on your watch list. Watch out for stuff that he does, and like I said, I recommend you getting something if you happen to come across one. Thanks for watching, and